Ah, there you are. I was expecting you. Let us begin.
Buried beneath Firelink Shrine, far below the halls of Anor Londo, the city of New Londo stands, or rather, stood. What remains are mere remnants of a once great city. Ruled over by 4 kings, this mighty city was once a powerhouse in Lordran, with the Lord Gwyn even granting a fragment of his Lord Soul to the kings before he left to link the flame. But now it is a flooded ruin. The first sight that greets us is one of a submerged kingdom, with only the upper parapets bursting forth from the waters. It is in one such tower that we can find a solitary prisoner, a mage of Vinheim, imprisoned for an unknown crime, for an unknown sentence. But in some circumstances, a purpose is more valuable than personal freedom.
What is it? Have you... Oh no, don't worry. I've no intention of escape. It's safe here. I can't bear the thought of going hollow out there. Although, I must admit, I've not much to occupy myself. How about this? I could forge your weapons.
Descending down into the city, the fallen residents rise to meet any trespassers. These cursed beings wander their fallen city, wielding cursed daggers that rip and tear at flesh. Without a cursed weapon or a cursed soul, not a blow will land against these spectres, although there is said to be another way, involving the use of a cursed victim's remains to temporarily imbibe the user with the ability to interact with these otherworldly creatures. But there is another who dwells amongst these lost souls, a being of flesh, donned in crimson robes, Ingvald the Sealer, one of 3 who flooded the city and sealed it away, but of the 3, only he remains. Yolva left the Blight Town, and the 3rd Sealer turned to darker practices. But this one still does his duty, watching over the dead and waiting for the bearer of the Lord Vessel to tell the tale of his lost city.
Long ago, the 4 kings were powerful men. Only their hearts were weak. When an evil serpent dangled the art of life drain before them, they were unable to resist and became pawns of evil.
Long ago, a primordial serpent appeared before the 4 kings and whispered stories in their ears that gnawed their minds, convincing them to embrace the abyss, pure, unfiltered darkness. But the abyss was not made for such men, and so it changed them, twisting them to its mould. The once great and wise men became twisted and evil, unable to resist the corruption of pure dark. Next, there were the Dark Wraiths, a legion of undead also bound to the service of the serpent, tasked with stealing humanity from others and returning it to the abyss, harvesting the dark soul itself. Separately, these 2 issues were a problem for Anor Londo, but when they combined forces, they became a grave threat to all Lordran, and so the Lords acted. And the city has slept in time ever since, sealed beneath the waves, until the time would come when the Lord Soul fragment must be reclaimed and the kings put to rest for good. Moving through the newly drained streets, the magnitude of the sacrifice becomes more clear. Piles upon piles of bodies litter the streets, while dark wraiths prowl, freshly awoken and already hunting for any scraps of humanity they can claim. But there are even more disturbing horrors now freshly uncovered. When the city flooded and the residents drowned, their souls coalesced, joining them in their agony and forming a mass of souls, a large blob-like being with a face and what looks like assorted body parts making up its core, driven only by its anguish. Even after all this time, the abyss lurks, deep within the city, a tower that houses a shaft, conveniently built so that perhaps a being might emerge from it to converse with the kings. Perhaps the tower was constructed as the kings began to engage with the creature before its true purpose was revealed to them. Not a tower, but a gateway, a path to the emptiness of the abyss, a place devoid of life, light, and fire, where the primordial serpents reside. This is not a place for man, for even the darkness in their souls does not protect them against the corrupting influence of the abyss. In fact, no being has survived the abyss, save for one, a fabled and legendary man, one of Gwyn's four knights, Artorius the Abyss Walker. It is said he alone faced the abyss in the ancient city of Ulasil and drove back the darkness, saving the city. But that was many years ago, and even beings of legend eventually become dust, leaving little behind but stories, and perhaps even a fabled trinket or two.
Now go. Whatever you do, do not crack and go hollow, lest my time spent on you be wasted.